It is known that celebrity rivalries are as much a part of Hollywood than red carpets and award shows, whether it be backstabbing, name-calling, man-stealing, or social media slamming. There have been so many public fallouts between some of Hollywood's biggest stars. So today on Top 10 Beyond the Screen, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 10 biggest celebrity feuds in Hollywood. Let's jump in. Coming in at 10, Eminem vs Machine Gun Kelly. In August of 2018, Eminem released his surprise album Kamikaze, and on that album he decided to take aim at fellow rappers Lil Yachty, Drake, Lil Pump, Tyler the Creator, Joe Budden, Lil Xan, and of course Machine Gun Kelly. Eminem directed a few rhymes at MGK on the song Not Alike, I quote, "But next time you don't gotta use Tech 9 if you wanna come at me with a submachine gun. And I'm not talking to you, but you already know who the F you are. Kelly, I don't use sublimes and sure as F don't sneak diss, but keep commenting on my daughter Haley." Well then. The lyric seemingly stems from a 2012 tweet MGK posted commenting on how attractive he thought Eminem's daughter was. She was just 16 years old at the time. The tweet said, I quote, "Okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say she is hot as fuck. In the most respectful way possible because M is king." In response to Eminem's track, MGK released Rap Devil, which was a poke at the Eminem moniker Rap God, a track that held literally no punches. Eminem was quick with a comeback, putting out the track called Kill Shot, with artwork that featured the likeness of MGK. MGK then responded with an Instagram post captioned, "He missed," with the picture showing MGK standing in front of a crowd wearing a Kill Shot shirt, middle finger high. Coming in at 9, Kim Kardashian vs Chloe Grace Moretz. This feud started a few years back in 2016 after Kim infamously released her nude selfie onto Twitter, which of course went viral. Chloe Grace Moretz was not a fan of this, tweeting, "There's a huge difference in respecting the platform that you're given as a celebrity and shaming, something I never have done and would never do." Kim wasn't a fan of this, responding to her tweet with, I quote, "Let's all welcome Chloe Grace Moretz to Twitter since no one knows who she is. Your nylon cover is cute, boo." Oof. The shade. Now, the two don't seem to have made amends since then, and Chloe seems to have no regrets tweeting out to Kim in the first place. She recently stated, I quote, "That picture wasn't linked to body confidence. It wasn't hashtag body confidence or hashtag love who you are. It was done in a slightly voyeuristic light, which I felt was a little inappropriate for young women to see." Preach, Chloe. I agree. Coming in at 8, Paris Hilton vs Nicole Richie. Paris and Nicole were childhood best friends who dominated reality TV when they starred together on the popular series The Simple Life back in 2003, which followed the pair as they travelled across the country, rid themselves of money and material items, and lived a very simple life. However, at the height of the show's fame, the two suddenly were at war with one another. Paris Hilton stated, I quote, "It's no big secret that Nicole and I are no longer friends. Nicole knows what she did and that's all I'm ever going to say about it." Now, according to some reports, Nicole was jealous of the attention Paris was receiving, so she threw a party to celebrate Paris's appearance on the sketch show SNL, and followed it with a screening of Paris's notorious 2003 sex tape. Wow. Since then, the two made up and filmed 2 more seasons of The Simple Life. However, back in 2014, Nicole appeared on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, stating that the two don't talk much anymore, but she does still consider her to be a friend. Coming in at 7, Elton John vs Madonna. This is one of the most notorious feuds on our list, with this pair being longtime frenemies, with a feud that became more apparent during the 2012 Golden Globe Awards. The two singers were pitted against each other in the Best Original Song category, and prior to the ceremony, Elton John was interviewed by Carson Daly, asking him who had the best chance of winning. When Madonna's name came up, Elton responded with, "She doesn't have a f***ing chance of winning." Madonna responded in kind, stating that those were fighting words, and of course, the Queen of Pop came out on top and beat out Elton for the grand prize. Good on you, Madge. Coming in at 6, Anjelica Huston vs Jacki Weaver. This is a fresh feud for all you Hollywood gossip fanatics out there. In May of this year, Anjelica Huston was on the press tour for John Wick Chapter 3, during which time she made some remarks about her contemporaries and their career choices. One jab in particular seemed to be directed at Jacki Weaver and her choice to do the film Poms. I quote, "Quite honestly, I'm looking for movies that impress me in some way, that aren't apologetically humble or humiliating like Band of Cheerleaders gets back together for one last hurrah, you know, an old lady cheerleader movie." Oof. shots fired. Weaver's film Poms is of course that exact premise, so she had some choice words for Huston, stating, well, she can go f*** herself. However, in a radio interview with Andy Cohen, Huston apologized, well, a little bit, stating, I hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings, and if I did, I hope they come back at me. Well then, Jacki, now's your chance. Coming in at 5, Alyssa Milano vs Shannen Doherty. Growing up, WB's Charmed was my absolute favorite show, and Alyssa Milano and Shannen Doherty were 2 of the 3 stars on that show. That was up until Doherty was fired and replaced by Rose McGowan. According to sources, Milano and Doherty had a lot of conflicts between the scenes, which resulted in Doherty leaving. When Milano appeared on Andy Cohen's show, she stated, I quote, I don't know if she got fired, we never really found out what happened. I can tell you that we were on the air with her for 3 years and there were definitely some rough days. Since then, it seems the two have somewhat buried the hatchet, with Milano stating, what happens 15 years ago or however long it was, it's irrelevant. Milano also very quickly came to Doherty's side when she was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2015. Coming in at 4, Ariana Grande vs Pete Davidson. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson infamously called off their engagement in October 14th of last year. However, the SNL star was very quick to make jokes at the expense of his ex-fiancée in early November. During a promo clip for an SNL episode, Pete jokingly proposed to musical guest Maggie Rogers, stating, I quote, hey Maggie, I'm Pete, you want to get married? However, she rejects him and Pete states, 0 for 3. Yikes. After the promo was released, Grande tweeted, I quote, for somebody who claims they hate relevancy, you sure love clinging to it. Oof. I can't deal with the shade. She then tweeted thank you next before deleting the tweets. And then of course on November 3rd, Grande released a track inspired by her ex-boyfriends called Thank You Next, with some of the lyrics stating, I quote, even almost got married, and for Pete I'm so thankful. Wish I could say thank you to Malcolm cause he was an angel. Look what you taught me, and for that I say, thank you next. I'm so f***ing grateful for my ex. That song is a bop. Coming in at 3, Taylor Swift vs Kanye West. This is perhaps one of the most epic feuds that we have on our entire list, with this fallout garnering media attention all over the world. Now this one began all the way back in 2009 at the MTV Music Awards when Kanye West infamously interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech. However, the two publicly made up the following year, with West even discussing doing new music with Taylor in 2015. I quote, she wants to get in the studio and we're definitely going to go in. I don't have an elitism about music, I don't discriminate. However, their music plans fell through when Kanye released his song Famous in 2016, where he rapped the lyrics, I quote, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that famous. Taylor retaliated by vocaling her dislike of the song at the 2016 American Music Awards, even accusing Kanye of undermining her success. Now this is where Kim Kardashian joins the feud. She jumped in to defend Kanye by posting several videos of Taylor and Kanye discussing the song and proving that Taylor approved of the track's message from the very beginning. Coming at 2, Bette Davis vs Joan Crawford. Now a lot of you will be surprised that this didn't make our number 1 spot, but you'll see why very soon. Bette Davis and Joan Crawford were Hollywood legends who had a just as legendary feud that started in 1935 when Davis fell in love with actor Franchot Tone on the set of Dangerous. However, the newly divorced Crawford quickly tied Tone down and ended up marrying him first. The feud continued when the two worked together on the iconic 1962 film Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, for which Davis was nominated for an Oscar. However, Crawford allegedly campaigned against her and even went on stage to accept the award on behalf of the winning actress Anne Bancroft. Younger viewers will also be familiar with the feud as it was brought to life on screen for the FX show Feuds, starring Jessica Lange and Susan Sarandon. And finally, coming in at number 1, Bella Thorne vs Whoopi Goldberg. On June 15th of this year, a hacker threatened to release Bella Thorne's nude photos after they hacked all of her social media. So Bella took matters into her own hands and instead released them herself. I quote, I'm putting this out because it's my decision. Now you don't get to take yet another thing from me. Most rallied behind the young star, but not Whoopi Goldberg on The View. The show discussed the situation, but Whoopi didn't seem to think Bella's actions were brave and instead shamed her. She said, I quote, listen, if you're famous, I don't care how old you are. You don't take nude pictures of yourself. When they're hacking you, they're hacking all of your stuff. So whether it's one picture or a million pictures, once you take that picture, it goes into the cloud and it's available to any hacker who wants it. And if you don't know that in 2019 that this is an issue, I'm sorry, you don't get to do that. Bella wasn't going to let Whoopi get the final say though, and she took to her Instagram stories, first writing a long note about how upset she was by Whoopie's stance before announcing she was cancelling her upcoming appearance on The View because she didn't want to get beaten down by older women. She then uploaded a video. Through tears, she stated, "I'm not going to lie, I want to say I feel pretty disgusting. I just want to say, watching this interview, you made me feel really bad about myself and I hope you're happy, I really do. I can only imagine all the kids who have their shit released and then they commit suicide. You're so crazy for thinking such terrible things on such an awful situation." Whoopie failed to respond, but others were quick to come to the defense of Bella, and rightly so.
Starting off our list at number 10 is Drake and Kanye West. Alright, so this feud has always been all over the place and it's pretty hard to keep track of. It started back in 2018 when they started taking shots at each other. The entire year was a whole bunch of drama involving secret children, alleged attacks, and betrayal. It all began in May when Pusha T took shots at Drake on Daytona, which was produced by Kanye. Drake responded with a diss track called Duppy Freestyle, which targeted both Pusha T and Kanye, and then it all just went downhill from there. Pusha released the story of a died-in, which outed Drake's story of having a secret child, which was then later confirmed. Drake thought that Kanye told Pusha about his child, but Kanye tweeted out that he never spoke to anyone about it. After the clash a month later, Pusha came forward saying it wasn't Kanye, but was actually Drake's own producer who told him. In December 2018, a battle broke out on Twitter and it turned serious very quickly. Kanye tweeted, "Drake called me to threaten me," and Kim followed it by @Drake, "Never threatened my husband or my family. He paved the way for there to be a Drake." Drake's only response was 5 laughing emojis on his Instagram story. Now, Kanye refuses to say his name in interviews and says that he is not allowed to mention him or any of his family members. So this is pretty serious because there were some pretty serious threats made. Up next at number 9 is Bella Thorne and Modson. They dated for over a year and even got married. Well, they had a fake wedding. They weren't legally married, but they did this whole romantic ceremony for Mod's birthday because that's what he wanted. Which is super cute, right? Well, after the two of them split without any reason indicated, they started to battle it out on Twitter. They got into a heated exchange after Mod said that he was going to auction off Bella's stuff on eBay during his interview with 2Fab in May 2019. He said, "I still have it and I figure if she doesn't get it soon, I'm gonna have a really poppin' eBay site." He claims to have been joking around, but that didn't stop Bella from clapping back. She responded with on Twitter, "Aw, looks like Maudie really wants some press. #hungry. Also, didn't you call the cops on me when I wanted my computer?" And at that point, Mod shared his version of that story, saying that she went through his back door when he wasn't home and that he doesn't trust her, so that's why he called the cops. He also said that he's offered 6 times to meet and swap each other's stuff, but that she refuses. Honestly, it just sounds like a bunch of high school stuff to me. But months later, more tension came after Bella's ex, Tana Mojo, and Mod's son were spotted having dinner together. That was pretty much the final straw for Bella. To sum it all up, they are not on good terms. Swiping the number 8 spot is Khloe Kardashian and Jordyn Woods. Khloe was dating Tristan Thompson ever since 2016, and the pair seemed inseparable for a while. They both looked genuinely happy. I thought they were really cute. But throughout the relationship, there were on and off cheating scandals, all done on Tristan's behalf, keep in mind. One came at the worst possible timing when Khloe was actually going into labor with their baby. Fans got to watch the whole scandal go down on the reality TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Regardless of his unfaithfulness, Khloe stayed with him to work things out. But earlier this year, more cheating rumors started, and Jordyn Woods was at the front and center of it. Who's Jordyn? Oh, no one significant, just Kylie Jenner's best friend, who is basically a sister to Khloe. Turns out Jordyn was spotted making out with Tristan after a night of partying. According to E!, Jordyn stayed at Tristan's house partying with him and his friends until the early hours of the morning, 7 AM to be exact, and they were very touchy-feely all night, cuddling on the couch and stuff. The entire Kardashian family unfollowed Jordyn on social media and completely cut her off. Every person involved has taken their side of the story to Twitter and media outlets, but Khloe remained silent and posted a picture of a quote that read, "The worst pain is getting hurt by a person you explained your pain to." Jordyn was living with Kylie at the time and ended up moving out of her house. Now this is all some very serious tea. In the number 7 spot is Taylor Swift and Katy Perry. Their feud has been a complicated one, and one that lasted way longer than it should have, if we're being honest. Back in 2009, they were actually good friends, seen together at award ceremonies, hanging out, laughing together. They even sang Katy's song Hot and Cold on stage together during Taylor's Fearless tour. Taylor dated John Mayer in 2009, and then a couple years later, Katy began dating him in 2012. But things heated up when Taylor went on tour, the Red Tour, and hired 3 dancers who had danced for Katy Perry. A few months later, Katy was also going on tour, and there are claims that Katy tried to get those dancers back for her prison tour, which would mean leaving Taylor's tour halfway through. And that's when the two of them had an even bigger falling out with each other on top of the whole dating my ex thing. Taylor spoke on it, telling the Rolling Stone magazine that they are straight up enemies, and said, "She did something so horrible. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She tried to hire a bunch of people out from under me." In May 2018, Katy sent an olive branch to Taylor, like literally sent her an olive branch, and apologized with a note. They finally ended their feud this past year in 2019, and Katy posted a picture of a plate of cookies that said, "Peace at last," and captioned it, "Feels good" at Taylor Swift. Fans are pretty thrilled that this feud is finally over. At number 6 is the battle between Kendra Wilkinson and Holly Madison. The former Playmates were once roommates, both living in the Playboy Mansion as one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends. They were practically sisters in some weird way since they were dating the same man under the same roof at the same time. But that all came to an end when both girls decided to move out of the mansion back in 2008. They had their own personal tension between each other, but a feud officially began when Holly wrote a memoir about her experience in the Playboy Mansion called Down the Rabbit Hole. In the book, she revisits what she calls disturbing memories and portrays herself as a victim of Hugh's manipulation. But Kendra thought her book was, I quote, "disgusting," and says that although she is embarrassed of her own past lifestyle, she would never blame Hefner for it. Kendra openly tweeted at Holly her thoughts and told Fox 5, "We dated an 80-year-old man at the same time. It's very awkward. She probably wants to distance herself from the situation. God bless her, she should. It's embarrassing because I saw some things that she probably doesn't want me to talk about." Holly responded by calling her the fakest person she'd ever met. But Hugh's statement is really the one that matters. In response to Holly's book, he said, I quote, "Over the course of my life, I've had more than my fair share of romantic relationships with wonderful women. Many moved on to live happy, healthy, and productive lives, and I'm pleased to say remain dear friends today. Sadly, there are a few who have chosen to rewrite history in an attempt to stay in the spotlight." Halfway through the list at number 5 is Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. The Sex and the City co-stars were once working together on set every day. And ever since the early days of the show, there were rumors going around about the fighting between the two of them. There were claims about a feud happening based on Sarah receiving a higher salary than Kim. Back in 2004, Kim admitted money was a part of the reason that the show ended. She said, "I felt after 6 years it was time for all of us to participate in the financial windfall of Sex and the City. When they didn't seem keen on that, I thought it was time to move on." Later on in 2017, Daily Mail reported that the third Sex and the City movie was cancelled due to the demands by Kim. They stated, "Warner Brothers refused to meet her demands and had to cancel production as the company decided it wouldn't be fair to fans to produce a movie with only 3 of the 4 main characters." Kim responded by saying the only demand she made was that she didn't want to do the movie, which apparently she turned down back in 2016. In October 2017, Kim did an interview with Piers Morgan and said that her and her other co-stars have never been friends and are just colleagues. But she targeted Sarah specifically and said, "I think she could have been nicer. I really think she could have been nicer. I don't know what her issue is."
Specifically Sarah Jessica Parker, is that I think she could have been nicer. I really think she could have been nicer.
Since then, it has been a bunch of back and forth during press interviews, and it doesn't look like they will be eye to eye on things anytime soon. Here we are at number 4 with Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan. An overdramatic and totally unnecessary catfight, let's be honest, but a legendary one, because it is still going on. They were once really good friends and have one of the most famous paparazzi pictures of all times, where they were out on the town in LA with Britney Spears. Paris went on to make claims that Lindsay actually party crashed that night and wasn't invited, and that Paris was just out with Britney for the night. For years, they've always had this ongoing distaste for one another, and we never really understood why. But more recently, their feud continued after Paris was on Watch What Happens Live and was asked to say 3 nice things about Lindsay. She replied with, "She's beyond, lame, and embarrassing. Lindsay's representative responded by saying, obviously Paris needs to feel relevant and is desperate for attention. But Lindsay did respond herself and posted a throwback picture to Instagram after Paris released her new song and video called Best Friend's Ass. She posted the throwback picture of the two of them and captioned it, #Beyond Friends Are True. Love at Paris Hilton. Congratulations on your new song. It definitely stirred the pot, and she later deleted the post. Alright guys, at number 3 is Lady Gaga and Kelly Osbourne. The war started between them back in 2009 when Osbourne called Gaga a butterface on her show Fashion Police. Of course, Gaga fans jumped to her defense and began harassing Kelly with some pretty evil threats and comments about her body image. Gaga responded with an open letter telling her that her show criticizes and rates people's beauty, which is wrong. However, Sharon Osbourne was not okay with her daughter being slammed on social media, so she wrote an open letter to Gaga and called her a bully since she has millions of followers and didn't do any of this privately. The feud was going on for a while until 2013 when Gaga tried to make a peace offering. The singer made an appearance in October on the X Factor UK where she gave Sharon, who was a judge, a cake to celebrate her daughter's birthday. Kelly was actually turning 29 and it just so happened to fall on that day. Sharon and Gaga even took a smiling picture together with the cake, but Kelly did not accept it and wrote on Twitter, "Not to be ungrateful, but why would you send me a birthday cake via my mother in a country half the world away?" She then posted a picture of the cake to her Instagram with the hashtags "Eat My and hypocrisy. But Gaga ended the feud and responded with kindness, tweeting out, "I didn't know it was your birthday until this afternoon. Meant as a peace offering. Happy birthday." Coming in the number 2 spot is Justin Bieber and Orlando Bloom. How could we ever forget the time Orlando punched Justin in the face and it was all caught on tape? The altercation took place in a restaurant in Ibiza when the two of them just so happened to run into each other. In the footage you can see them approach each other and Justin gets all tough, yelling, "What's up?" And then bam, Orlando throws the first swing. The reason they were ever feuding was because Justin was getting a little too close with Orlando's wife at the time, Victoria's Secret model Miranda Kerr. It was reported they were exchanging in some pretty flirty texts with each other, and photos surfaced of them getting cozy after the 2012 Victoria's Secret fashion show. She always denied the allegations and said they were just friends. Classic excuse. But that did not stop Orlando from feeling some type of way about Biebs. People were quick to break up the fight and the crowd even started clapping as Justin was escorted out. After leaving the restaurant, Justin wanted to get in another hit, so he posted a picture to his Instagram of Miranda in a sexy bikini. After some expected backlash, he then deleted the post. Taking the number 1 spot is Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. The two rappers have never been close pals in the past and their beef with each other has blown to epic proportions. The two of them have collaborated before with their music and have even been supportive of one another in the past, but something else seemed to be going on behind the scenes because Cardi B posted videos on Instagram claiming a variety of different things about Nicki. Rumors said this started after Nicki liked a negative comment on one of Cardi's freestyle rap videos where a user said "dumbass bars." There was tension between the pair which all exploded later on in September 2018 at the New York Fashion Week. The story goes that Cardi approached Nicki and confronted her about the lies she was spreading and claims that a security guard of hers elbowed her in the head. That is when the altercation started and Cardi ended up throwing her shoe at Nicki before being escorted out of the room with just one shoe on. You guys, these girls were in like these long beautiful gowns at New York Fashion Week and Cardi literally took off one of her heels and threw it at Nicki's head. After the altercation, Nicki spoke about it on her show Queen Radio and said that her friend Ra Ali was the person who hit Cardi and that she punched her 8 to 9 times. It then caused a whole legal dispute because Nicki was saying that she has footage and was going to press charges, but apparently was also offering $100,000 to anyone who had the footage. It ended on decent terms with both of them tweeting that they will not be discussing anything anymore. It is almost the 1-year anniversary since the whole shoe throwing fight, so I guess we'll have to wait and see if this really is the end or not. In the number 10 spot is Elon Musk and Johnny Depp. If you missed what's been going on between them, they started feuding after Depp made claims that his ex-wife Amber Heard had an affair with Elon when they were together. Not only that, but he accused him of having a threesome with Amber and Cara Delevingne, which he denied. Actually, they all denied it. Elon gave a statement following his claims and said that he was never with Amber while she was married to Depp and that it is totally false. Depp and Amber are in a really nasty lawsuit right now for domestic violence, and one of the text messages used as evidence had Johnny threatening to cut off Elon's genitals. Oh wow. Once this news surfaced, Elon responded by challenging Johnny to a cage fight. Of course, the internet is taking this very seriously and is already betting their odds on who would win. So let me know in the comments, who do you think would win? Are we team Johnny or are we team Elon? Team Johnny, he would just, I feel like he don't mess around. Up next, number 9 is Harry Jowsey and Francesca Ferragamo. The couple took the world by storm after the new Netflix series Too Hot to Handle blew up. People quickly fell in love with them and started getting invested with them as a couple. But then what seemed like out of nowhere, Francesca posted a 6-minute YouTube video where she was crying and explaining that Harry had broken up with her and that some of the rumors going around were true. We later found out that they were cheating rumors. Then he posted a YouTube response video saying that it wasn't that and that he simply just fell out of love with her. A few months to follow, nasty rumors kept going around and Francesca posted a written statement to her Instagram story saying she now has her lawyer involved. That's how serious some of these things are getting. I've never, like, a breakup involving lawyers? Damn, y'all weren't even together that long. This is crazy. Sliding in number 8 is Jillian Michaels and Lizzo. Jillian Michaels is a health and fitness guru who caused some controversy after making comments about Lizzo that came off as body shaming. She was doing an interview on BuzzFeed News AM to DM when she talked about Lizzo's body and said, "Why are we celebrating her body? Why does it matter? Cause it isn't going to be awesome if she gets diabetes. I'm just being honest." Fans quickly defended Lizzo and slammed Julia for fat shaming. Lizzo took the high road in this one, so the feud was really between Julia and Lizzo's fans, but other celebrities actually got involved too and defended Lizzo, like Jamila Jamil and Whoopi Goldberg. Sliding to number 7 is Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. There's been bad blood between Nicki's ex, Meek Mill, and her current husband, Kenneth Petty, for a long time now. But in February 2020, Nicki took things to another level after seeing that Meek liked a meme which made fun of her new husband. She posted an Instagram story where she wrote, "You a clown, you do it for likes, hashtag Twitter fingers, beat women, scared of men." Her allegations that he beats women was not taken lightly, and he responded on Twitter saying, "The only way you can try to end my career is to say I beat women, talk about your brother convicted of rape and you knew and paid for his lawyer." Being honest, I think his comment was also too far. He was referring to Nicki's brother who was sentenced to 25 years to life for predatory sexual assault. The whole situation escalated very quickly and their tweets just continued where they made very serious claims against each other involving domestic violence. Y'all, stop fighting with your damn exes. They in the past. Rolling into number 6 is Ellen DeGeneres vs. everyone. Now, I know this sounds silly, you guys, but there's no better way to describe this one. I literally just can't narrow it down to one person. For some reason, 2020 is not Ellen's year, and the world has turned against her. She was once known for being America's sweetheart, but then she started getting exposed for mistreatment in the workplace and towards other celebrities. It all started when a mean side to her was exposed by Nicki Tutorials and Dakota Johnson, both who were guests on her show. From there, more celebrities came forward with stories, as well as her former employees and even her old bodyguard. Things have gotten so bad, the Ellen DeGeneres show is under international investigation by Warner Media. Executives from the show sent out a memo to staff members saying interviews will be conducted about their experiences on set by a Warner Media's employee relations group. Things are getting serious for Ellen. Damn. I thought it was just some gossip, but halfway through our countdown, number 5 is Tati Westbrook and James Charles. You probably saw their feud online even if you don't actively follow their YouTube careers. It was probably the biggest YouTube feud of 2019 and it had people talking about it for months. We're actually still talking about it now, a year later, as you can see. Tati and James were close friends, but then Tati went online and accused James of being a predator to minors. He ended up losing hundreds of thousands of subscribers and people were attacking him online, accusing him of sexually harassing minors. Things were getting very serious. James ended up posting a response video to hers where he was devastated she would make claims like that and said the things that she was claiming were far from true. Other beauty YouTubers then got involved in the whole thing and it was just one messy situation, and it still is because new things keep coming up and people are getting involved. This is like a year-long fight, guys. Moving on to number 4 is Bella Thorne and Tana Mongeau. The two of them dated for a long time, but things were a little little confusing from the outside looking in. During their relationship, Bella was also in a committed relationship to Mod's son, but they were all okay with the fact that she was dating two people, very openly. But Bella ended up splitting from both of them, and then pictures surfaced of Tana and Mod's son out having dinner. They were not being romantic with each other in the photos, but it was enough to set Bella off on Twitter. She tweeted, "Tana and I are no longer good. She broke girl code. I'm over it." She even went on to make claims that Tana was dating her in the first place for Twitter, basically for clout. Tana responded to her saying she has no idea why she's mad and that her claims are super hurtful. Honestly, it was pretty wild to see them having a fight on Twitter because fans were chiming in as each tweet was being sent. Like they were waiting, like who's gonna answer next? What's gonna happen? Guys, just text each other. Alright guys, so number 3 is Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun. Scooter is one of the biggest record executives in the music industry and owns Big Machine label group. He works with tons of big artists like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. But in 2019, Taylor exposed him for allegedly bullying her and using her music against her. She said that he acquired her entire music catalog from her first 6 albums after he purchased the label group for $300 million on June 30th and was using that to his advantage. She posted an open letter to him revealing that he has all rights to her old music and she is not able to purchase them back. She wrote, "Scooter has stripped me of my life's work that I wasn't given an opportunity to buy. My musical legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it. This is my worst case scenario." Taylor shared the post with her fans on social media, explaining why she wasn't allowed to perform any of her old songs at the AMAs. At that point, other celebrities got involved, some of them defending Scooter because they are his artists, but Taylor's fans stuck by her side. In spot number 2 is Prince William and Prince Harry. They have been having a royal rift for many years now, and a lot of people are confused by the whole thing. But they are human and it is normal for siblings to fight. Apparently the feud started between them when Prince William said words about Harry's wife, Meghan Markle. It started back in 2016 when Harry met Meghan and finally introduced her into his family. William was not as supportive of it as other members in the family were, and referred to Meghan as this girl. From there, Meghan was a huge topic and argument between them, but also the family as a whole. Some people felt she came with too much baggage or maybe was untrustworthy and that they needed to keep guard of it as she entered into the royal position. But Harry and Meghan have decided to leave the royal family and the brothers say they are working on the relationship, so let's hope they can figure it out. But we have made it to number 1 and we have Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. This one is a more one-sided feud, but it is taking the world by storm right now. Kanye recently announced he would be running for president, but started acting erratic during the presidential campaign rally. He ended up having a meltdown where he started crying. The whole thing was filmed and it went viral immediately. Not long after that, he went on Twitter and slammed his wife Kim Kardashian, saying that she and her family are white supremacists who tried to have him locked up with medical care. He was making a bunch of random claims, saying that he was trying to divorce Kim for a while and also accused her of having an affair with Meek Mill. But it is clear that he is struggling right now with mental issues and has been seeking help for them. He deleted the tweets a few days later and also apologized to Kim on Twitter. The most recent update though is photos recently surfaced of them talking in the car together and Kim was just in full out tears. So it seems that it was a very emotional talk. Coming in next, number 9 is Miley Cyrus and Nicki Minaj. We didn't really know about the feud until the very awkward public exchange they had at the 2015 MTV Music Video Awards. Miley was hosting the award show, but at one point Nicki was on stage saying her part and finished by saying, "And now back to the bitch that had a lot to say about me in the press. Miley, what's good?" You could tell that Miley was completely thrown off by the comment, and the spotlight awkwardly went to Miley and just faded out from Nicki. It was super uncomfortable. Turns out that articles were saying Miley had said some rude things about Nicki in the press earlier that week. But Miley ended up saying on stage to kind of clear her name that news outlets tend to twist the words of other celebrities and that she actually has no issue with Nicki. Sliding into number 8 is Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson. The majority of us probably thought they would be like brothers after filming together in Fast 5, but by the end of the movie series they strongly disliked each other. While they were filming the 8th movie of the franchise, Dwayne posted on social media saying he is dealing with a candy ass on set. Fans were confused at first because we didn't really expect there to be so much tension to a point where you're writing about it on social media. There were rumors going around at that time about these two fighting, so people just kind of quickly pieced that together. Dwayne later spoke about it and said he has put it behind him, and apparently their tension was so bad at some points that they actually requested stand-ins to film some of their scenes. Rolling to number 7, we have Chelsea Handler and Angelina Jolie. To be honest, I didn't even know that they had beef with each other, so that is how unexpected this one is for me personally. The tiff came after news broke of Angelina and Brad Pitt's divorce. Apparently Chelsea was not okay with their decision, and she did not hesitate to express her thoughts on it. She spoke about it and called Angelina a effing lunatic. It was later revealed that she had a personal issue with her because she once fooled around with her friend's man, referring to Brad Pitt's ex Jennifer Aniston, who is friends with Chelsea. But Chelsea later felt bad for her comments and said, "I'm upset that I was so upset with Angelina Jolie. I realize she is probably just trying to do her best too." Isn't that sweet? Yeah, you had really no say in their divorce, but okay. Halfway through the list is Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. All the Sex and the City girls seem to be like sisters from the outside looking in. But early in the TV series there were rumors going around that these two did not get along. In 2004, Kim admitted that money had something to do with it, revealing that Sarah received a higher salary, and when they did not agree with her financial demand, she quit the show. Down the road in 2017, Daily Mail reported that the third Sex and the City movie was cancelled because of Kim, stating that Warner Brothers refused to meet her demands and had to cancel production, despite the other girls being on board for another movie, and fans obviously very excited about it. Sarah has always said that Kim was a close friend to her, but there seems to be some weird disconnect because Kim told Piers Morgan that the other girls were always just colleagues to her. That's so awkward. We've made it to number 4, and we have Howard Stern and Lena Dunham. The whole thing seemed to be one-sided after Howard completely dissed her on his radio show back in 2013. He was talking about the actress and her HBO show Girls and said, "It's a little fat girl who kinda looks like Jonah Hill, and she keeps taking her clothes off and it kinda feels like I don't want to see that." The whole comment was honestly like very unnecessary, not sure where it came from, but Lena was able to laugh it off later on, and she actually called into his show to talk about it after he apologized though. He did end up apologizing for that random comment, and they were able to kind of shake it off. Taking over the 3rd spot is Chloe Grace Moretz and Kim Kardashian. Another random feud that happened on Twitter and lasted way longer than it needed to. It started after Kim posted a nude mirror selfie on her social media pages. The selfie was obviously a little censored, but Chloe did not approve of her post and made sure everyone knew about it. Chloe commented on her post and wrote, "I truly hope you realize how important setting goals are for young women, teaching them we have so much more to offer than our bodies." Kim quickly fired back, pointing out that Chloe posed nude for her Nylon magazine cover shoot. Side note, she was actually wearing a jacket over her body, but she is nude underneath, so yeah. Kim tweeted in response saying, "Let's all welcome Chloe Moretz to Twitter since no one knows who she is. Your nylon cover is cute, boo." Kim's family even got involved after that, and Khloe Kardashian started tweeting at her too, and honestly it was just Twitter chaos. Taking over the number 2 spot is Neil Patrick Harris and James Woods. Neil posted a photo of an 8-year-old boy with his family at Pride, and James tweeted a response that was incredibly inappropriate and offensive. He tweeted, "This is sweet. Wait until this poor kid grows up, realizes what you've done, and stuffs both of you dismembered into a freezer bag in the garage." I mean, who in their right mind says something like that to someone? Like, to me, the only type of person to say something like that is someone who would dismember someone and stick them in the freezer. That is crazy. Neil responded by calling him utterly ignorant and classless and said that he should be ashamed of himself. Turns out Neil was actually very close with the young boy's family, which is why he took that photo with him. In the number 1 spot is Ariana Grande and Piers Morgan. The pop star picked a bone with him back in 2018 after he criticized Ellen DeGeneres, claiming that she drools over famous men's bodies and how if he did that towards women he would be called a pig. He also went after Little Mix and said that they use nudity to sell their records, not their talent. Ariana Grande got involved by sticking up for Ellen even though the comments had nothing to do with her. She tweeted at him saying, "Ellen is an incredible and kind human being. I use my talent and my sexuality all the time because I choose to. Women can be sexual and talented, naked and dignified. It's our choice. And we will keep fighting till people understand. I say this with all due respect, but thank you. Next." The two of them battled it out for a bit in tweets, but later admitted that they had a civil conversation and worked it all out.